What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Up for Debate Season 4, Episode 2. I know you guys have been patient waiting around. Mr. J Fly. Oh, show him again, baby. Look at that. People thought we were done. People thought that we died. People thought we were non-existent. But no, we came back better than ever. And we got our new guy on the show, Connor, my guy, Conball Sports. Welcome to the show, our new host. How you doing tonight?
It's feeling better because, we're good now. It's finally good to watch football again. I'm so used to being depressed and deprived of fun on Sundays, but we're back. Saquon's back. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Everything's looking good.
Hey, Daniel Jones is looking like Lamar Jackson out there. I watched the game today. He was elusive. No one could tackle him in the backfield. He was out here doing his thing, running, evading sacks. That guy might be a top 10 quarterback this year. The Giants are looking great.
The Giants surprised me, and I'll be one of the few to say, and we can get right into it with our first topic. But I know Connor's been saying it all year, and I'll give him credit. When you know your team, you know your team. I know that feeling. But Dabo, the real deal, man. I mean, they beat the Titans last week, and then they go out and they beat the Panthers this week. And I'm not saying that the Titans and Panthers are teams like the Chiefs or like the Raiders or, these top-tier teams, Chargers. There you go, Jay. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, these teams are like respectable wins for the Giants, where the Giants are at. Like the Panthers and the Panthers and the Titans, especially, like those are two really respectable wins. So I really like Dabo, and I'm an Eagles fan saying that. But yeah, Saquon's back. He averaged 9.1 yards per carry last week. That's freaking absurd. It's really nice to see Saquon Barkley back. Not even a Penn State guy, just as a local guy. Got a lot of respect for him. Love the player he is. Love that, one of the first things he did when he joined the NFL, I think, was buy his mom and his dad a house. So I always will love Saquon. But why don't we kick it to the Giants fan? You rocking out with this guy long term? What's your opinion?
You gotta give him a contract after what you've seen so far with horrible interior offensive line play. You know what you're getting with Andrew Thomas, left tackle, a straight up baller. Evan Neal's been struggling recently, but he's a rookie tackle in the NFL. I wouldn't put too much into that. But Saquon knows what he's doing wrong the past couple of years. He's been dancing behind the line of scrimmage, not hitting the hole. The past week or two, he's been getting the ball and just running as fast as he possibly can behind this garbage ass offensive line he has in front of him. It's actually working. It's about damn time Saquon's finally doing something. I'm being honest with you.
Oh my God, Jay.
Well, I'll tell you guys this. Dalt was talking about elite teams and Chargers. He brought them up. And I'll tell you, coaching is important because we've seen the Chargers get upset by the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football because of terrible, terrible coaching. This is the exact opposite. The Giants don't really have the talent that these elite teams have, in my opinion, or maybe they've always had. Maybe Danny Dimes has been a top 10 quarterback his whole career. He's never had the coach to really put it together. Maybe Saquon has been his top 5 running back, but they almost found it out. This coach he's figured it out, and he's doing the right things, the right times to win football games. I think that this 2-0 start for the Giants goes 90% to this man right here that we're looking in the graphic. I think the coaching is what wins games in the NFL, and I think typically all sports and all team sports. And I think this is a guy you want as a coach. I would tell you this, man. I would give away a star offensive piece for the Chargers if we can get rid of Staley and Lombardi and get this guy as the coach for the Chargers. I'll tell you right now. I get rid of I don't want to say anybody, but I get rid of somebody.
Well, the coach of the day, I wouldn't even give it to Brian Dable. I would give that to our defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale from the Ravens. The master class he had today defensively, without Kayvon Thibodeau, without Azeez Ojulari, with Jihad Ward and Unshane Zimenez going at Baker Mayfield, and with 2 trash-ass linebackers and Tay Crowder and Austin Cletro, and held McCaffrey to 22 receiving yards. He had 4 safeties on the field at all time and absolutely shut down McCaffrey and had Baker Mayfield throwing under 50% completions. That is my game ball for today's game. Go straight to Wink Martindale and his defensive scheme.
And I want to agree with that, though. I think the whole coaching staff in general in Buffalo, for the Giants are really great. It's a whole unit. So I agree, Conball, 100%.
Yeah, because Wink's bringing that stuff straight from what he did with the Ravens, which no one understands why Baltimore would fire Wink Martindale because he had 1 bad year, but he had no corners. But I guess he doesn't have corners in New York right now, but he's doing just fine. Last week, he led the NFL in blitzing percentage with over 49% blitzes, which is absolutely insane considering considering how good the Titans are against the run, Wink's blitzing scheme completely shuts it down. So that's why I think we're going to get off to a hot start next week against the Cowboys with Cooper Rush at QB. Like, if we stop the run, I think we have a legit chance of starting 3-0 when taking a hold in the NFC East.
Well, I'll tell you this. That NFC East, the Commies look terrible. I seen a lot of their game today. They lost to the Lions, by the way. People weren't paying attention. They lost to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have a win in football because the Commies are terrible. Their defense is terrible. Their offense is bad.
Wasn't it something ridiculous too, like 22-0 at halftime or something?
Yeah,
like
they were nothing at halftime.
They got those 2020 Cowboys free yards at the end of the game, like the bullshit points that didn't matter.
I'm getting a Lions jersey.
It was terrible. The Lions suck, but the Commies are worse, and the Cowboys are worse. But the Eagles and your Giants are fighting out for first place in that division. It's for sure going to go to one of your two teams.
Yeah, I think the Commies is Carson Wentz. What were you saying? Sorry, Connor.
I was just saying, like, our schedule is just so much easier than theirs. Like, we can just maintain afloat and just face these trash, garbage teams. And the Eagles are battling against the Vikings this week. Have to play the top-tier teams in the NFC and the AFC.
But the one thing I will say is the Eagles' schedule gets easier later in the year, and there is some value to that. So I still think that the Eagles, and obviously I think you would think this too, that the Eagles are the favorite, but I'm not going to sleep on the Giants. I'm surprised that I'm saying that the Giants are my number 2 rather than the Cowboys. And obviously Dak's injury plays a lot into that, but at the same time, like, even when Dak was playing, like, I hate to say it, the Cowboys look like ass a little bit. And I know that Dak got injured, week 1 or whatever, and how tragic that is. But at the end of the day, I mean, even when Dak was in, they looked rusty. So
they had more touchdowns today in their first drive with Cooper Rush, and they had 3.5 quarters with Dak Prescott last week.
That's absurd to me. That is absurd. Moving on, though, to our next topic, kicking it in the NFC East with a different running back. Same school, though. Both Nittany Lions. You know who I'm talking about, Connor. My guy Booby's back. All right, look, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't play today, but they do play tomorrow night. And I'm going to be honest, the key to the Philadelphia Eagles recipe to win is going to be keep this guy in. Look, 13 attempts. That's not a lot of attempts at all. 96 yards and 1 touchdown, averaging 7.4 yards per carry. Fun fact, that touchdown that he scored, Jay, that was his first touchdown in 2 or 3 years.
Damn.
2 years, I believe. That's ridiculous that the Eagles just weren't utilizing him like that. So I love Miles Sanders. He's probably my favorite player on the Philadelphia Eagles. Jay knows I bring it up all the time. I am invested. I am very invested in this man, and I want to see him succeed. So I don't know. I think that Miles Sanders could easily be a 1,000-yard rusher for the first time in his career if Nick Sirianni commits to giving him the ball at least 15 times a game.
I agree 100%, dog. I agree. I think I've been saying Miles Sanders is the top running back. He's the best running back in that division. Although Saquon's making a case this season, I will say he is. But Miles Sanders has been that guy, in my opinion. But the coaching staff has not been giving him the ball. Like you said, if they give him the ball, this is a dangerous offense with Jalen Hurts, rushing threat. Miles Sanders, running back that can run the ball like crazy. Now, A.J. Brown, who's obviously, I think, the best receiver. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's really, really good too. But the best, if not the second best receiver in that division as well. So, I don't know. I think the squad is looking nice. And this is a key piece to win this division is that running game with Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, that two-headed monster. So, I like it. I'm all in for Miles Sanders this season like I was last season. Don't prove me wrong, Miles. I think he's going to do it this year.
I guess I'm going to have to go against you guys because I'm not buying my stock into Miles Sanders this year, if I'm being honest, because the Eagles have historically went a running back by committee because they have Boston Scott and whoever that rookie they got this year, or last year.
Gainwell last year, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. And they're going to try to throw the ball more. They got A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith is still yet to catch a pass, but they'll get him involved. Quez Watkins is a beast, speedster. I just don't think Sirianni wants to just solely use one running back when they already have Hurts and the 2 other good guys. I'm just not buying my stock into Miles Sanders getting 1,000 yards. And he's also pretty injury prone in his entire career. He's never really finished at a full year without getting hurt in some way.
Now, there's a lot of truth to that statement. I can definitely agree with that because as a fan, That's the reason that this was his first touchdown, I believe, in 2 years. Now, last year, he did play the whole year. They just didn't utilize him right. But Miles Sanders is definitely a talented player when he's on the field. His own worst enemy, I think, is himself, kind of like Connor just highlighted, which is a perfect transition into our next topic. Do you know whose own worst enemy is himself? The guy that I really want to suit up for the Dallas Cowboys next year, or this year, I should say. The Dallas Cowboys can get away with all of their problems with 2 key signings this year. One of those guys being Antonio Brown. Jerry Jones, get on the phone, make it happen. What do you think, Jay? Why would this be a recipe for success or a plan for hell?
Well, let's look at this, Dalt. Jerry Jones has already signed, what's the dude's name? Zeke Elliott for like millions of dollars for no reason. And Dak Prescott for millions of dollars.
Whole lot of money.
He signed, I think Jerry Jones just throws away money because he has so much of it. Actually, I was at the Chargers-Cowboys game this season, and let me tell you this guy went up to Jerry Jones, showed him his Dallas Cowboys tattoo, and Jerry Jones gave him a bunch of diamonds. I'm not kidding. He was sitting in the row in front of me, and he came back and showed me the diamonds that Jerry Jones just had given him. He likes to give away money. He has so much of it, doesn't matter. Yeah, give AB. I'll give him an $80 million 4-year call. Whatever Jerry Jones wants, gave Dak Prescott, just give it to AB. And let it just go on. It's not going to work out, just like Dak Prescott didn't work out, just like Zeke didn't work out, just like every other player in the past, 20 years hasn't worked out for the Cowboys. Yeah, let's do it. AB, and what we were talking about earlier before the show, get Le'Veon Bell in there. Is Aaron Hernandez? Dig him up. Aaron Hernandez, bring him back, and let's get the whole squad going. I love Aaron Hernandez, by the way, but let's bring them all back.
Bring him back.
Let's bring all the problem makers and put them in there. I know Connor's definitely agreeing with me. We'll send him a Christmas card.
Yeah, I mean, just bring AB in there, then light the torch on the whole place, just burn it down like you've been doing for a decade, just by signing all these mid and bum players like Dak. Why the hell would you give him that max money? Like, I know he's good. Like, the 12th best QB in the league doesn't deserve top 5 money. I'm not joking.
Yeah,
that's just burning money. So fuck it, sign AB.
Because your best is your top 12. You know what I mean? That's not even to say what your worst would be, which could be top 15, top 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Dak at best is 12, and that's just pushing because we've seen how good Kirk Cousins has been this year, and statistically, he had a great year last year. So you could put Kirk over him. Jameis Winston looked good last week. Tua threw like 6 touchdowns today. You could put him over Dak this year. Like, by the end of the year, Dak could be a borderline top 15 QB if he, when he comes back, looks like he did week 1. I wouldn't be surprised either because with the way their offensive line's been looking recently.
Yeah. Jay, you got anything else?
Not with these guys. I think the Cowboys are irrelevant, and they're going to continue to do things to stay in the media and stay relevant. But actually, talking about the Cowboys, they just won. They just beat the Bengals, but that's more of the Bengals and Rams honestly look like teams that really shouldn't have been in the playoffs. They kind of lucked their way, and the Rams look terrible. They should have lost against the Falcons, but Mariota was throwing a really, really bad pass over the top of the wide open receivers. Had the game won and threw again over the top of his head to an open, I think it was London in the end zone. So, the Bengals and the Rams both should be 0-2 right now. They look bad, and the Cowboys picked up their first one without Dak. So, we'll see what happens, I guess.
The Falcons almost came back from being down 28-3. Yeah. How funny would that have been?
That would have been amazing, especially against the Rams. Could you have imagined that? But back to Antonio Brown, the last thing I'll say, 34 years old, bro. At this point, it's shot. I mean, Julio Jones at 34 years old and Antonio Brown at 34 years old are 2 different people. Not talent-wise. Holy shit, not talent-wise. Antonio Brown, I'm not denying his talent. I think he could still play until he's 40, mentally-wise. Teams aren't going to want to bring in a 34-year-old risk. Teams might want to bring in a 22-year-old risk. Teams aren't going to want to bring in a 34-year-old risk. Bro, if you ain't figured it out at 34 years old, chances are they know when they're signing you that they're going to at least attribute one fuck up to you in advance or one thing happening. But surprisingly, one guy who hasn't been fucking up, and this is going to be actually a quick, perfect, concise NFL podcast, Magic Mike, baby. Did anybody see the freaking Dolphins today? Holy shit. Now, these stats aren't from today. These stats are from last week, I'll warn you. 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 2 sacks, and 2 for 2 on 4th down. I mean, today, though, Tua and fucking Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle just absolutely unloading on the Ravens. 28 points in the fourth quarter or something ridiculous like that.
Hey, wait, before we go to the Dolphins, though, I want to update you. Kyler Murray just ran in a touchdown with no time left in the game. They're going for 2. This game is insane. I'm not sure people watching, but you got to watch that. But Magic Mike, the Dolphins are good. Again, this is another Daniel Jones situation where you have a quarterback that's supposed to be a top elite quarterback, and he didn't look good coming out of college, just like Danny Dimes, drafted top 6, looking like he's supposed to be that guy, and now he's finally looking like a top 6 draft pick, just like Tua is. And the reason behind it, again, it's all coaching. That's all it is coaching. You bring Mike McDaniels in, and now all of a sudden Tua can make all these throws he wasn't making before. He's doing all these things he wasn't doing. I think the man threw for like 400 yards today with like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Guy was balling, and it's no surprise. I mean, the only thing that's surprising about this game specifically was they were down 20-7, and I'm watching all the games at once, and I kind of stopped paying attention to the Dolphins because I'm like, oh wow, the Ravens just really came to play. Let's see if they can do something. I flipped back, and all of a sudden they just took the lead. They scored a touchdown to Jalen Waddle and took the lead. So that was an incredible showing. I think the Dolphins, I've been saying this, and you know this, I've been saying this since last year. This year specifically, they're a threat to make a Super Bowl run if they can get in the wild card spot. I don't know if they could beat the Bills and get that division, but we'll have to see. I like Mike McDaniels. He's my guy. Let's get it.
No, he looked really, really solid, and I feel like he's in control with that team. I feel like Tua is in control with that team. I was not a Tua guy. Tua turned the ball over. E on the mic knows I call him that all the time, but I can't even call him that now. I mean, Tua running it over in the fourth quarter. I don't know. He's got to have a new nickname, though, because that dude went lights out in the fourth quarter. Stud, beast. I love Tua now. I mean, I did always love him, wanted him to succeed, but he really proved a lot of the doubters wrong today. He was on point. That fourth quarter performance alone, utilizing Tyreek Hill. I mean, trust me, there were some catches that the receivers you got to attribute to, but I mean, Tua's the conductor. He's the ringleader at the end of the day, so props to him.
I really like the point that Jay made about the new coaches with Daniel Jones and Mike McDaniels. Obviously, last year, you guys remember Brian Flores fucking hated Tua. He legitimately despised Tua and would take him out at any possible moment. Now you put in Mike McDaniels, who came in here from Kyle Shanahan style offense, who believes in the QB and is willing to do anything to help the QB get better. That's why Jimmy Garoppolo has been good for so many years. The West Coast offense helps their young QBs. It also helps that, you have the legit Legion of Zoom, not the stuff they had in Kansas City. This is the Legion of Zoom with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and Cedric Wilson and all of them. This is probably the best offensive weapons that Tua could possibly have, and it's showing on the field right now how good Tua and the offense is looking.
Yeah, they're like peaking right now in a good way. Like, and I don't mean peaking. I mean, like, they're really exceeding their expectations. I think some people thought that they would be 1-1 right now. They look beating the Ravens should be in Baltimore too. That should be a huge confidence boost. I mean, shout out to Magic Mike, because holy shit, that Dolphins organization has got to be so proud, so happy for everything that they've done today, because that game in general was just a thriller. I mean, I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, he just did it again. But back to that, I mean, what other things did you guys learn today about the NFL? I mean, like you guys said, Dallas, I believe, just beat the Bengals, unfortunately. But what did you guys learn today about your own teams, or what do you guys expect to learn or see? I'll let Connor take this one first.
First of all, we have 2 new teams on Fraud Watch. The Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson was bad, just really bad until the end of the fourth quarter. And the Cincinnati Bengals, you lose to the Dallas Cowboys without Dak Prescott. Those two might be some of the biggest fraudulent teams in the NFL. And a little shout out to the Texans. They haven't won a game yet, but they've been through 2 really good games with 2 really good teams and put up a fight. So they can get that QB position right next year. The Texans might be a sleeper team in the AFC.
Well, let's go.
Did the Texans win today?
They lost.
No, they lost. Russell Wilson played like shit. He played very bad.
Oh. Yeah. Well, let's go down the slate for the day. So Thursday night football.
I love this. Let's go.
We had the Chargers lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is the biggest upset of the year so far. I cannot, on paper, the Chargers should have won by at least 10 points, but you've seen Brandon Staley, you've seen Joe Lombardi I don't know what they were doing play calling wise. I don't know what they were doing personnel wise. Just a terrible
3 interceptions taken away too.
Yeah, some interceptions taken away. But, this is what I say. When you're playing a team that you're just that more dominant against, you should expect some things not to go your way, calls, some interceptions, things like that. You should definitely overcome that because when you're winning by 20 and you lose like 3 or 4 calls in that game, it's not going to really change much but the score. So there was that. Justin Watson and Jalen Watson, MVPs of the week as well. They balled out. The Chargers got demolished by 2 guys I've never heard of before until today. Anyway, let's moving on. Dolphins, of course, big comeback. The Jets, the New York Jets. I mean, it is the Cleveland Browns. It's not like a really great team or anything like that, but the Jets got their first one of the season. The Commies look terrible, lost against the Lions. The Jaguars, I've been calling it since week 1. The Jaguars are real. They're a playoff contender. I think they're like the Dolphins. They can make a Super Bowl run if they get in the wild card spot in the AFC. 24-0 over the Colts. The Giants, Colin Ball's Giants, won by 3. Another big win by them. Patriots beat the Steelers, easy win. Bucks beat the Saints, another easy win. The Rams and the Bengals are frauds, and we've seen it back-to-back weeks. The Rams barely sneak away with a 4-point win. The Bengals lose to the Cowboys. Finally, of course, like Colin said, the Broncos are looking like frauds as well. The Raiders are looking like frauds. They're in overtime right now with the Cardinals. And the Seahawks, of course, with Geno Smith, turnover machine, can't get anything going on the through the air. They lost by 20. With Jimmy Garoppolo back under Sandy, Jimmy Garoppolo's officially took the job back in San Francisco, and they get their first win of the season. Let's go, Jimmy G. I told y'all.
Prayers up to Trey Lance, too. I was really excited to watch him play, and he had to get hurt. That's a shame.
That is a shame, but I can't even lie, Connor. For those of you who have been watching the show the whole time, I literally don't think we've had any viewers, so we got to make a comeback with this, but we'll get it. So if you're here tuning in or you're watching this later, I will say maybe Jimmy Garoppolo sucks in the future. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo is carrying the 49ers to the best record in the NFC as we speak. One man, though, on this podcast that I need to give credit that has been with him through thick and thin and called him beating the Packers in Green Bay last year is this guy, Mr. J Fly. So I do got to give you credit, man. Holy shit. Not playing with the team in the spring. He looked pretty like, this is my team. So I think the 49ers front office is kind of like, what are we doing?
Trey Lance lost to the Bears, though, and Jimmy Garoppolo came in and beat the Seahawks.
Where are they going to trade Trey Lance to next year if they end up rocking out with Jimmy G?
No one's going to want him. He's going to be a restricted free. No, he's going to go to
the Washington Commanders when they're done with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, he might get signed to a 1-year deal to the Commies after Wentz doesn't work out, and they'll just keep like Tyler Heineke kind of just keep rotating around. He'll probably be a backup for a while.
Well, that's what I learned today. I learned that Wentz is a fraud. That was the thing that I learned today, guys. In class, I learned Carson Wentz is a fraud. Seriously, at the end of the day, this guy, I love him. I still love him. I will always have a big piece of my heart for Carson Wentz. Good dude off the field. Just kind of, a lot of things just didn't work out in the scenario. At the end of the day, he fucking sucks. And I love to see it because he's in a Commander's uniform. But I mean, I thought that he kind of bounced back after that win last week. I was like, okay, maybe new plays, maybe Terry McLaurin, this might be, nope, he fucking sucks. So
yeah, last week was the annual Carson Wentz bait game to get you thinking he's good again.
There's just like so many key moments that he's got to play. I don't know. I just think, in my opinion, I think that he tries way too much to play hero ball. And that's what really ends up biting him in the ass.
They've got a good offense around him. He just sucks. I don't know how to describe it. Like he doesn't trust the good weapons around him. I mean, Jahan Dawson's been playing really well. Curtis Samuel balled last week. He's got Terry McLaurin. He's got 2 good running backs.
Yep.
Just trust them. You don't have to go all out every play. Just play the little possession ball. Like it's not.
Yeah,
that
there
hard.
should be no excuses. You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas. Last thing I'll say is I think the Cardinals might take this win over the Raiders down 20-0 at halftime. They might take the win. But who you guys got? Sunday Night Football. I'm predicting. I never make this prediction, and it's probably really risky. I don't know. It might be too crazy. I don't think it's too crazy. I think Aaron Rodgers can have a bounce-back game, have himself about 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and beat the Bears on Sunday night.
So I'm going to go with a hot take. Give me the Chicago Bears beating Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields comes out. I'll play devil's advocate. I think that the Packers are lost right now. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers doing more DMT is going to help them find themselves or what. But at the end of the day, man, I think that right now, just seeing what the Bears did to the 49ers last week, seeing what the 49ers did to the Seahawks today, seeing what happened to the Packers last week from the 49 or from the Vikings, I don't know, man. I'm going to go with the Bears. What are you thinking, Connor?
Well, as the notable Bears hater on TikTok, after saying they're gonna go 0-17, I gotta root for the Packers. Good God, last week was awful. I made 2 or 3 posts about the Giants, 50, 60 comments just saying what happened to the Bears going 0-17. They are just not a good football team. I'm like, yeah, you beat a 49ers in a monsoon, but you're not good. Justin Fields threw 120 yards. Like, the Packers are a better team at every single position on the football field besides maybe no linebacker with Roquan Smith. If the Packers lose this game, I will shave my head. You can clip this. I will shave my head if the Packers somehow lose this game. That's how much better I think they are than the Bears.
Dang.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to clip this and we're going to put it on TikTok tonight. Right now, it's Sunday, September 18th at 7:42. Chances are you're probably watching this video around 9 o'clock when the Bears are kicking the ever-living shit out of the Packers.
Oh, my God.
Tag Combo in the comments.
Hey, Combo, I'll tell you,
Follow up
Aaron
for
Rodgers
debate.
is a lot better than Trey Lance. But if Aaron Rodgers gets you that haircut, I don't know, man. He's going to be done. He might need to retire. Hopefully not.
Knowing my luck, they'll find a way. Like, Rodgers will get hurt the first snap, and Jordan Love throws 4 picks or something like that. That's probably what's going to happen.
That's probably what's going to happen. Something crazy like that. Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the locker room, do an insane amount of drugs, come back out and be like ready to play.
Gonna pass out midfield or something crazy.
But yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much all we got. I like keeping it concise. Nice 26-minute NFL podcast. We're gonna have someone else joining us too. He just couldn't make it tonight. That's the JV show. Love that guy. Love his content, and I think the 4 of us are gonna mesh really well. And we're gonna try to do this bi-weekly. Maybe honestly, if it keeps going well, maybe we'll do it weekly because I do like the quick 25-minute, 35-minute rundown of just what's going on from like 7 to 8. This was fun. Thank both you guys for coming on. If you guys don't already follow Comball Sports, if you guys don't already follow 302 Birds, and if you guys don't already follow Jay Bolted, all 3 of us have great content, and you can find all 3 of us on Up for Debate, posting daily content there moving forward about the NFL. Football's back, baby. Comball's getting a haircut, and the Giants are 2-0. What world are we living in?
The 2-0 start's worth it. Trust me, guys. Trust me, Giants fans. It was worth it.
Bengals, you guys are frauds. Rams, you guys are frauds.
That's all we got, everybody.